Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's IELTS speaking class. Apologies for the late start. There seems to have been a clash in the schedules. So we had two events happening at the same time, but we are all good to go now. So I can see that we've got a number of students who are in the class ready to do some speaking practice. And a big welcome to all of you. I can see we've got Regina, Alice, Mariella, Flora, Jeremiah, Cinch, Ian, Adrian, and Jesse in the class. So a mixture of students who have participated previously, and it looks like there may be one or two new names here as well. So a big welcome to all of you. Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the class, and welcome to all those who are watching live on YouTube and Facebook as well. I can see here that we've had a few people say hello on YouTube. Hello to Chatura, and hello to, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Oluwatu Meninu. Hello to you, and a warm welcome to today's IELTS speaking class. So I'm going to go straight into a few tips relating to the IELTS exam, and then I'm going to bring in as many people as possible to do some speaking practice. Let's have a look then at some of these tips. I should say, of course, just before I do, and let me just bring up these details. Here we go. Yeah, just before I do, I should say as well that for those who are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, there is the opportunity to join us at the IELTS Scholarship program. If you have the desire to live and work in the US as a nurse, and you are looking for support in terms of achieving that dream, then do join us here at the IELTS Scholarship program. You'll receive extra support and advice and help towards achieving those ambitions. Just click on the link, which is going to appear on my screen, and click on the option Staff Nurse, and you can receive more information on this fantastic opportunity. Okay, I can see that Jennifer has joined us in the class, so I'm going to bring Jennifer in as well, so we can discuss a little bit more about Connetics. So let me do that. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Alex.
You're very welcome. How have you been doing?
I've been doing okay. It's a busy morning. I just stepped out of another meeting and into this one, so I didn't want to miss a chance to say hello and hello to the group. It looks like you've got another nice size class today. Good job.
Yeah. There's quite a few ready to get going with their speaking practice by the looks of it. So yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, some of you already know me. My name is Jennifer. Jennifer with Connetics. I am the IELTS support specialist, and I help guide you through getting you to pass your first time with Swoosh English. So that's what we do here. Some of you I've already had a chance to speak with. I'm trying to see if I recognize anyone here. Oh, I do. Yep, there's Jayshree, and I recognize her. And some of the other names I don't really recognize. So yeah, I will see you in the WhatsApp group. So I don't know exactly where Alex was speaking. I missed part of that. But after you enroll with Swoosh English, I will help get you going. We'll start you out with a readiness exam. So that's always exciting. We'll assess where you are. Some people think that maybe, they're better in some areas and not so good in the other. And after they take this readiness exam, they will find out, more where you're at. So always the speaking is always a struggle for most nurses, as we all already know. And after you take the readiness exam, it's always really a great tool to use to see where you're going to start out with. And then I will get you enrolled. So if you're already placed here in the US, through Connetics. If you have already been hired through state or somewhere along those lines, then I will get you going. And we're here. Alex is here. We've got a handful of instructors, and we are here to look. We've got some more people. I like that. We're here to get you to pass the first time. That's my role here. You'll always have contact with me. I'm always in the WhatsApp group. You can send me a message via email. I get a lot of emails, but mostly WhatsApp. Let's see. Let me go over really quick. Did you go over probably the scholarship already? Because I'm a little late in the game.
Yeah. So I've got it scrolling across the bottom of the screen.
Okay.
But
Your
yeah,
screen's
also,
probably just different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. That's great. Alex, do you have any questions for me or anything right now that I should let our viewers know about me or my role here to help everyone?
I think you were mentioning before that there was the opportunity of the referral program and the
Yes.
opportunities there. Is that something which is continuing?
That is still continuing. Yep. See, that's why you're here. Yes, definitely. We have $1,000. That's why we pay you the big bucks. We have $1,000 referral program, and I need to brush up on the rest of the details, but you will find more of those details on our website. On our website, Connetics, you'll have more of those details. What I can tell you is to qualify, you need to have passed your NCLEX already. So I don't know when here. I assume everyone in here probably already has passed their NCLEX, but you can apply for the scholarship. And like I said, the details you'll find online. So that's kind of a big deal. Like I said last time, you take that $1,000 and you come to the U.S. and you spend big. So hopefully you'll be here this time next year is the plan. So you have to hurry and pass your IELTS exam. So there's no hesitation, there's no waiting, period. And you just want this to be very seamless process and pass and finish and achieve your American dream, which is moving to the America, the USA. And we're all here working together. It's a team effort. Like I just said a couple minutes ago with Alex and myself, and we've got Anya and the CEO of Connetics, and just all of us all together are here to help you pass. So, Alex, did I leave anything out?
No, I think you've covered it.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Like I said, I didn't know how much you said. I'm really late since I was doing something else. So,
yeah. Well, we actually delayed the class, I think, based on what you were doing before. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you just now starting the class?
We've only recently got going. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. I thought I was coming in at the end of it. I'm so sorry. My apologies.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think we didn't want to divert everyone's attention on two things at once. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That's good. That makes sense. Well, so if I made myself clear then, yeah, definitely the scholarship is a really big deal. You can find me on WhatsApp. If you need to contact me, if you have any questions before you have signed on somewhere, go ahead and reach out to me. 858-289-1853. I could put that in the chat if my computer let me. There's nothing like having a slow computer. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So, yes. So if you got that, feel free to reach out to me or Jennifer at ConneticsUSA.com. I'm always there too if you have any questions. So Alex and I, we're always here. Alex is the smart one here. He's teaching you the do's and the don'ts of English. I'm the native speaker, and I'm the one who says it all wrong all the time. So if you were grading me, I wouldn't pass, would I?
There are many varieties, Jennifer. No, you would pass. You would definitely pass.
Okay. Well, good. Thank you, Alex. I always appreciate you having me on, and it's always a pleasure seeing you. And I will also probably see you in WhatsApp as well.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well, thank you for coming, and thank you for the updates.
Yes, thank you. And you have a wonderful day, and good luck, class. You came to the right place.
Cheers, Jennifer.
All right.
Thanks. Okay, so guys, because of the late start today, we're going to go straight into doing some speaking practice. So let's take that opportunity now. And we're going to focus on speaking part 2 to begin with. So I'm going to highlight here just a few tips on part 2, as those who regularly watch our class will be familiar with, but for those who are less familiar with the IELTS exam, these are some key part 2 tips. So the section of the exam will last between 3 to 4 minutes. It begins with the presentation of a question. You will then have 1 minute to prepare your response, and you should then speak on the topic for up to 2 minutes. Always aim to speak for the full 2 minutes, because the examiner may well require you to do so. And if you stop early, then that is setting a bad impression, and it gives the impression that you do not have the fluency to continue talking. So you don't want to stop before the examiner invites you to stop. You want to keep on going, and that's how one of the ways that you can demonstrate a high level of fluency in this part of the test. So let's see, I'm going to bring someone into the class who wasn't part of the class last week to start with. So I'm going to start with Christelle. If Christelle is there, let's see. Hi there, Christelle.
Hi,
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Brilliant. Have you joined us here before, or is this the first time?
This I tried to join the last time, but I don't have a good connection, so
Okay.
it was like I'm in and out.
Okay. Well, let's hope we have more success today. Um, so, where are you based at the moment, Christelle?
Um, I actually live in Cebu City, but right now I'm in Bohol.
In Cebu. Okay, which country is that?
Philippines, sir.
Oh, that's the Philippines. Excuse my
Yeah.
ignorance. Wonderful. Okay, well, welcome from the Philippines. Um,
Mhm.
let me bring up the first question for today's class. So the topic we're going to be looking at, Christelle, is decisions. Can you
Okay.
see the topic on your screen?
Yeah, I can. But
Brilliant.
please bear with me. I don't know how to do it.
Well, Christelle, it works this way. So you have a minute to prepare some ideas. You can write those ideas down if you wish to do so. I recommend that you do write down some ideas. And then you should speak answering this question for up to 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's have a go. Let's see how we do. So you've got a minute to prepare, starting now.
Okay.
Okay, Christelle, are you ready to begin?
Okay. Um,
Okay. So please describe a difficult decision that you once made.
the recent decision that the recent difficult decision that I made was resigning from my job. I worked as a nurse for 2 years, and I consider it difficult knowing that I won't have any income, but I have to because I need to pursue for this American dream. And I made this decision just this year, and it took me a year to also decide to resign. So, um, um, yeah, but I think that's it.
Why was it a difficult decision to make?
What? Oh, wait. It was a difficult decision knowing that I won't be having my income, and expenses are always, it's like a cycle every month that I have to pay. Expenses doesn't stop, and once I quit my job, it means I no longer have any income. So that's why it
So,
made it's a difficult one.
so why did you decide that the decision was worth making?
Because it's like taking a risk for this American dream that I wanted to pursue.
And what do you think are going to be the benefits of pursuing the American dream?
Of course, part of it is getting a bigger salary in the States, where I will be well compensated as a nurse, compared to working here in the Philippines, where we're basically overworked and salary is not enough.
Okay, thank you very much there, Christelle. So I think this is the first time that you've done part two, is it? Am I correct in assuming
Yeah,
that? Okay.
yes, it's
Um,
really your first time.
okay, so it's always a bit difficult the first time because speaking and doing the long turn is something that can sometimes feel a little bit unnatural. It can make you feel a little bit nervous if you're not used to doing it.
Mhm.
But the thing to remember with this, Christelle, is that you need to speak for up to the 2 minutes or until the examiner stops you in order to demonstrate that you have fluency. So what you're saying when you are speaking, your pronunciation is very clear, your grammar is generally accurate, you've got some nice variation in vocabulary, but you keep pausing because of running
Yeah.
out of ideas. But you see, the questions that I'm asking you, the questions that I asked you were examples of ways that you could have expanded on what
Ah,
you were saying, you see. So, you say it was a difficult decision to make because you weren't going to have much income, but then look at the other side of it. But what would be the benefits of working in the United States? And then you said part of it would be the fact you get a bigger salary. And here you don't get enough money or in the Philippines, you don't get enough money and you're overworked. Okay, if that's part of it, what's the other part of it? What other elements are going to be potentially beneficial for you working in the United States? So you could talk more about that, maybe certain cultural elements or maybe
mm,
opportunities for your family in the future, or if you have children, opportunities for them, for example. And you could develop in those sorts of ways. So I think it's just getting comfortable really in talking without being interrupted, because for part two, the examiner ideally will say nothing. It will just be you speaking for
okay.
up to 2 minutes. The examiner stays silent, and you just keep on going until the examiner interrupts you. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep practicing with that, Christelle, until you get a bit more confident and a bit more comfortable. Because I think there's definitely, in terms of your speaking ability, it seems pretty strong to me. But it's just you need to keep speaking in order to fully demonstrate that to the examiner.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking,
Yeah.
what um what's the better way of like, improving it? Do I
Um,
have to watch some movies or something like that?
I think exam technique is what I would focus on in your case at the moment, and just to practice timing yourself speaking for 2 minutes. So on these sorts of questions. So with these classes, we record them so you can have a look at those and you can have a look at some of the other topics that come up. And I would just practice responding to them, timing yourself. Are you speaking for 2 minutes? If you are, fantastic. And if you're not, then, well, how could you have said more? How could you have given a longer response? In this class as well, I'm going to bring in other students. So I would watch other students, see how they approach it, see what ideas they come up with in order to keep speaking for the 2 minutes. I think technique is the most important thing right now. It's not so much language level, it's just the lack of experience, I think, with this type of exam task. In terms of a bit of language feedback, there were some slips in grammar because you were talking about the past, and you were using tenses which referred to the present and the future. So, for example, you said I won't have any income. This is when you took the decision. So you took the decision, which is correct. You said in the past, but you said I won't have any income. But if you're talking about something which is going to happen in the future, but you're talking about it from the perspective of the past, you would say I wouldn't have any income. So there were some slips just in terms of tenses, but generally your speaking was accurate. As I say, I think it's more the technique that you want to work on. So have a listen to how some of the other students approach it today, and maybe you can take some tips in terms of how you can expand your response to keep speaking for longer.
Thank you so much, Alex.
No worries, Christelle. Thanks for getting us started. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to bring Jeremiah into the class now, if he's available. Let's see if he is.
Hello,
Hi there.
hi. Hello,
Hi.
good evening.
How are you doing?
Good, great.
Good, good. So, Jeremiah, I know that you've been part of the class before, haven't you? Maybe not for a few weeks.
Yes. I think I attended twice, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Yes.
Wonderful. How's your IELTS preparation been going over the last few weeks?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to practice as much as possible, and I don't know if I improve. I will just after this.
Okay, well, it's good you've been practicing. Well, let's have a look at another topic. We're looking at the topic now of spending. So can you see this on your screen?
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, so you've got a minute then to prepare your response, and then you should speak on the topic for up to 2 minutes. Okay. So your minute starts now. Okay, Jeremiah, are you ready to begin?
Yes, I will try.
Great.
Okay, I would like to talk about the items that I bought last month, and it's automatic washing machine. I vividly remember I was on the fence for a couple of months if I really need these items. However, my friend highly recommended this product, and she told me to be able to spend more time to study and save my time is to bought this automatic washing machine because most of the time I spend whole day just to wash my dirty clothes. So without the second thoughts, I went online and bought one. And it cost me an arm and a leg around 20 to 30,000 pesos. But I know that it will be so handy and it's an item that's must have. So I'm really grateful that I bought the items because on that time I had more time to prepare for my IELTS examination. However, when I went to a mall and saw that this same items with the same brand, they have this best deal. There are 20% off with freebies. And then that time I realized that I bought a costly one. And I thought that I should did more research that so that I can save more money. And for that, I feel really sad and sunk my heart because I really need to save money for to spend for other things. So that's the time that I spend more than I expected.
Okay, thank you very much there, Jeremiah.
Okay, thank you.
Good. So we finished a little bit early there. We got to about 1 minute 40, but you did demonstrate a good level of fluency within that time. I would just say, as a general recommendation, do practice keeping on talking until the examiner stops you. because it will create the best impression within the exam room if you keep on going until the examiner says, okay, that's fine. That's when you know that you've done what you need to do. But there was some really good stuff in there. So some nice expressions you were using. You said you did it without a second thought. Some nice idiomatic expressions. It cost me an arm and a leg was a nice expression to use as well. 20% off, another nice expression. Generally speaking, you were using some good collocations. Highly recommended was another one, which was a nice collocation combination of words which you used. So yeah, some really good vocabulary demonstration there. Just a little bit on grammar. There's a couple of slips. So you talked about this items. So this is singular, but items is plural. So just make sure you've got agreement there. So this item or these items. I think this item would have been correct because you were referring to one item, weren't you? The washing machine. And can you, just on pronunciation, can you just say for me, I'm going to share it in the chat box. Can you just say this phrase for me that I'm sharing in the chat box?
Yes.
Can you see it?
This automatic washing machine.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so the stress should be on washing. So you can say automatic washing machine, a washing machine. Yeah.
Automatic washing machine.
Washing machine.
Washing
So
machine.
good. That's it. Yeah. So the stress is on washing because that tells us what type of machine it is. So I just had to listen a bit carefully because you weren't stressing that word. But washing is the most important thing because that tells us what the machine does. So yeah. Apart from that, your pronunciation was very clear, but it was just that word, and obviously it was quite important because that was what your talk was about. And on grammar as well. So there's not here to use what's known as part of the third conditional. So you said I should do, and then you corrected yourself. I did more research. But if you use should, referring to the past, it wouldn't be should did. It would be should have done. So I should have done more research. Yeah. So should do obviously is referring to the present or the future. But if you're referring to the past, it would be have done. Yeah, should have done. So just a slight slip there. So it was good that you were trying to correct yourself, but the correction would have been should have done. And just finally with prepositions, you said, you were sad because you spent too much money on this, and you said you should spend money for other things, but spend money on is the collocation. Yeah, spend money on other things. So just a few slips, but really good vocabulary there, Jeremiah, and your pronunciation generally was very clear. You demonstrated a good level of fluency as well, spoke at a very natural pace, which was great. But as I say, just practice continuing talking until you get to the 2 minutes, because that way you create the best possible impression on the examiner.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's have a look at our final part 2 topic. Again, just seeing who's with us who wasn't in the class last week. I think Lawrence. Hi there, Lawrence. Are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You've joined us previously, right?
No, this is the first time I'm.
Oh, is it? I thought I
Yeah,
recognized
the
your name.
class schedules are really not on my. I'm at work usually on the class schedules.
Well, a very warm welcome to the class, Lawrence.
Thank you.
Where are you joining us from?
Bahamas.
Oh, nice. Nice part of the world, the Bahamas. Is it a beach paradise like it looks like in all the photos?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to have a look at a different topic, and the topic we're going to have a look at now is...
Oh, I'm speaking?
Yeah. Why? Were you not prepared for this?
No.
No? Yeah, this is a speaking class, Lawrence. You've joined the
Oh, I thought I'm just going to listen to the lecture, but okay.
Yeah, well, it's up to you. Yeah, you feel like giving it a go?
Will you give me a guide? Sorry, this is my first speaking class.
That's fine. So, are you familiar with the IELTS?
Not yet on the speaking part. I just
So,
started. Yeah, I just started reviewing for IELTS.
okay, well, for part 2, which is what we're looking at together at the moment, you will have a topic which you can see on the screen now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you will have is a minute to prepare some ideas, and then you should speak about the topic for between 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a test of your fluency and your ability to link ideas together on a common topic.
Okay.
All right, you've got a minute to prepare before you speak, so you should make some notes, just write down some phrases, because this will help you to continue talking whilst you're giving your speech. Okay. So, yeah, you've got a minute to prepare, Lawrence, and
Okay.
then yeah, we can see how it goes. Okay, so your minute to prepare starts now.
Should I take notes?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, make notes on the topic, and then you can use those to speak. You can look at your notes as well as you're speaking. Okay.
In the actual test, do you have time like this to prepare?
Yes, you'll have a minute to prepare in the exam. Yeah. But only for part 2. Okay, Lawrence, are you ready to begin?
Okay.
All right, so please tell me about a cafe that you like to visit.
So the cafe that I like to visit is Louis and Stein's New Orleans Coffee. It's located at the west side of the island where I live. The cafe it's a small cafe with tents and tables out on the outside. So it's like outdoor cafe with the view of the sea across the street. So it's relaxing and yeah, it's sorry.
It's okay.
My favorite coffee is Cafe Mocha. I used to order that a lot of times. I used to go there on the cafe like every week. And my favorite food to order is a sandwich. It's a ham sandwich, which is toasted with toasted bread. And I'm not doing well.
You're doing fine.
So I like going there because there's a good ambience, and since it's across the sea, it's very relaxing, and you could hear the waves and the pigeons flying. So yeah, that's why I like going there.
When was the last time you went to this cafe?
The last time I went there is last week. I usually go there every weekend on my day off.
Do you usually go by yourself or with other people?
Sometimes I go by myself when I want a quality time. Me time. But I usually go there with some friends to hang out and talk about
Perfect.
our busy week.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. You did well. You did well.
I don't think so.
I could just tell, because sometimes when we're speaking, we feel a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
I could see that there was a little bit of nerves there, but no, but you did well, especially with it being the the first time you've done it, if you're not familiar with it, it can be a bit strange at first. So you did a good job, and you stuck with the structure of the topic. So you told me where it was located. You could have told me a bit more in terms of what the cafe looked like. You could have described it. Is it big? Is it small? What color is it? Is it modern? Is it traditional design? Is it made out of is it straw? Is it more kind of wooden, or is it metallic? You know what I mean? Those sorts of things.
Okay.
So you could have expanded there, but yeah, you told me what you like to have there, and you explained why you enjoyed going there. And some of the questions that I asked you at the end were just ways in which you could have expanded as well. Because you don't. This is another tip for part 2. You don't have to just stick to what's on the card. You can expand on it. So you can talk about other things. Yeah. So, for example, who do you go to the cafe with? When was the last time that you went there? How often do you go there? Do you go there more often now than you used to in the past? Or is it the other way around? Did you used to go there more often than you do now? So, yeah, there's all sorts of ways we can expand on the roll card as well. But yeah, you did a good job, Lawrence.
Thank you.
So yeah, you gave information west side of the island, so quite specific. Outdoor cafe, so you're using specific vocabulary related to the topic. Some adjectives, view of the sea, which was nice, and also you described how you could hear the waves and the pigeons, which is very specific, which is which is great. Just a few slips in terms of prepositions. Because you said it's located at, but it should be located in. Yeah, is the preposition. And you would say, I go on the cafe, but go to.
Go to.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on the tense, you could say I usually go to the cafe, or last time I went to the cafe. But yeah, so those are just a few slips. But generally speaking, you were very accurate. Oh yeah. A good ambience. That was a very nice word as well. Ambience is nice. Just a little bit of pausing. I think part of that was nerves when you were giving the information. So as you practice your speaking, Lawrence, preparing for the exam, that will reduce because you'll get more familiar, you'll get more confident with it. But obviously, with it being quite early at the moment, there's a bit of pausing, and so yeah, so that's just something to kind of look to improve on as you're doing further practice. But it will come, I think, with more confidence.
Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, no worries, Lawrence. Well done for getting involved. And I hope you feel a bit more familiar now with IELTS speaking. Good stuff. Okay, so we're going to move on to have a look at part 3 as we move forward. Just before we do, I can see Pammy is asking, how can she join the class? Well, Pammy, you can join the class by signing up for the IELTS Scholarship. This is an opportunity which exists in terms of receiving more support here at Swoosh English and Connetics USA. The scholarship program is designed for nurses who wish to live and work in the USA. So if that is your dream, then do click on the link. You can see the link is scrolling across the bottom of my screen. Click on that link and find out more information about how you could join the scholarship program. Click on the option Staff Nurse, and you could receive all of this support potentially for free. And one of the examples of the support we give is live speaking practice and feedback on your speaking to help prepare you and develop you in relation to doing the IELTS exam. So we're going to have a look at part 3 now. And we can see here with part 3 that this usually lasts between 4 to 5 minutes in the exam. The topic for part 3 will be linked to the topic that you talk about in part 2. It's important here that you're able to give clear explanations for your opinions. So you have to give an opinion, you have to explain your opinion and justify it using clear language. So linking devices are very helpful here in order to give a structured response. So for this, I'm going to bring in, I think, someone who is another new student. Regina, is that Regina or Regina? Let's see. Hi, Regina, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, are you new to this class, Regina?
Yes, it's my first time in here.
Welcome, welcome. And where are you joining us from?
I'm in England currently.
Ah, which part of England?
Cambridgeshire.
Cambridge is a nice part of the country, isn't it? It's very relaxed, some pretty
Yes, it is.
scenery. Yeah,
Mhm.
nice. How long have you been in Cambridge for?
I just moved here in August.
Okay, okay. So you're still discovering all there is to be done and seen within the town.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So Regina, are you familiar with the IELTS exam?
I am some parts of it.
Great. Well, we're going to be looking at part 3 together, and
Okay.
we're going to look at the topic of decisions. So, yeah, Regina, the first question I'd like to ask you on this topic is, how do you think people can improve the way that they make decisions?
I think people can improve the way that they make decisions by not making them too quickly and giving them a thought, weighing the pros and the cons, the advantages and the disadvantages, and basically not making it in a rush. Just think of what the situation is that they need to decide on, and try to make it as rational as possible.
Do you think it's easier to make decisions alone or when you have other people with you?
I think it solely depends on the decision to be made. I think both of them does have their own benefits in their own ways. But for me personally, I prefer to make decisions with other people only because sometimes people might have experienced the same thing and might have had to make the same decisions and would possibly be able to give me some sort of an insight um, in making decisions as close to right as possible.
And do you think then it's important to listen to other people's advice when you make decisions?
I do think it's important to listen to other people's advice to some extent because another person's advice may not always be the right one. So I think that when making decision, you should be open to the advice, but also to break the advice apart and make sure that if you're going to follow it, it does make sense and it's not something nonsensical.
Do you think that people make better decisions as they get older?
I definitely believe people make that better decisions as they get older because wisdom does comes with experiences, and as you do get older, you develop some form of maturity and you develop some form of, so basically you would have possibly experienced something before when you were younger. You might have made a decision that didn't work very well, and if there's a case where you had to make that decision again, then because of the experience you would have some sort of a insight into how to make it better this time around and not make the same mistakes that you did make when you were younger.
Very nice. Okay, very good. Regina, is it Regina or Regina? Which one?
Regina, but
It is Regina, yeah.
yeah, people be calling me all sorts.
I hope it's nothing offensive.
No, I mean,
Good. Yeah. So Regina, yeah, really, really good responses. Not only in terms of the fact that you were using a range of vocabulary and you were using it precisely and accurately, but also you were demonstrating the ability to weigh up your responses and make them logical and make them very much applicable to the questions that were being asked. So, so clearly you have a mind which is attuned to these sorts of questions, because it can be difficult sometimes for people to link their ideas together and make sense of their ideas in the moment. But you demonstrated that you were able to do that very naturally. So yeah, some really good
I'm a
responses.
chatterbox naturally, so yeah.
Say that again. Sorry, you're.
I'm a chatterbox. I'm very chatty naturally. So I tend to answer questions readily.
Well, sometimes people they chat, but they don't always make sense. But what was great
That's
is
true.
that yeah, you were making a lot of sense in what you were saying, and I think yeah. So weighing the pros and cons, that was a really nice response, a really nice phrase to use as well. It depends, is what you were saying. So using those sorts of expressions to hedge your responses and looking at it from both sides, and then using language to show for me personally, this is what I would do, but it depends on the situation. To some extent was another really nice expression you were using as well. So it's all this sort of language which the the examiner likes to hear for part 3, because it basically you're demonstrating that you're able to reason and balance and weigh ideas up against each other, and that's a major part of part 3. So it's a linguistic challenge, and you pass the linguistic challenge with flying colors, but also there's a test of your ability to give opinions and give reasoned opinions, and that was something that you also did very effectively. In terms of sort of general exam technique, it's not a big point, but just for some of the questions, you repeated quite a lot of the vocabulary from the question at the beginning of your answer. And in some ways, it's a natural thing to do because it gives us a little bit more time to think and it helps to focus our thoughts. But just bear in mind that often you would be expected to paraphrase. So, for example, for one of the questions, you said, I do think people make better decisions as they get older. But it might be a bit more natural. I've asked you that question to say, yes, I believe that's true because. So rather than kind of, so rather than repeating the question, you're able to sort of use a referencing device. So, that is true. That refers back to the question. And then you focus on giving your vocabulary rather than repeating. If you see what I mean. So it's just a small element of exam technique, but it is something the examiners like to hear. They like to hear you using your own language rather than repeating the question using the same words. Aside from that, there's not a lot for me to say in terms of improvements. I think, again, it's a small point. You talked about the fact that people can learn from their experiences, which was great. And then you said they can learn from things that didn't work very well, which is fine. But another expression you might use is they didn't turn out very well. So you could have used a phrasal verb in there.
Okay.
Just because it's, decisions, they kind of turn out well or they turn out badly, or it didn't go very well is another verb that might be used. But it's a nice opportunity there to use a phrasal verb. But generally speaking, Regina, a very high level, and you did really well. So congrats. You're welcome. Okay. So we've got time, guys, for one more topic, which we're going to have a look at. Let me see if Cinch is here, because I think Cinch might be a new student as well. Are you there, Cinch?
Hi, Alex.
Hi. Are you a new student, or have you changed your name?
I just changed my name. That's my nickname.
Is it Cynthia?
Yeah, you remember me, right?
I
That was, I
remember
think,
you.
2 weeks ago.
I think, I recognize that voice. You have a distinctive voice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Cynthia, or which do you prefer, Cynthia or Cinch?
Either. Since is my nickname, so I'm used to it.
Okay, we'll go with Cinch. Why not? How have you been over the last couple of weeks? Have you been reviewing, revising, or you've been busy at work?
Actually, I've been reviewing online the one that from the scholarship. I've been listening to the live class recordings, but not much with the speaking because I'm not I'm taking my time off with it.
Okay. Well, we're back on now, so let's see how we do. And so
I hope I will not mess up this time. I'm so scared. INB Regina, she speaks well.
She did. She spoke very well. She did.
Yeah.
But you speak pretty well too, Cinch. So let's see how we do. And we're looking at the topic again of spending. So my first question to you, Cinch, is: do you think that young people spend their money wisely?
Oh well, I don't think that they spend it like wisely because with these young people nowadays, they are like they're not thinking about the essence of being worked out like a money, since some these young people may have asked money from their parents, so they don't really think about valuing it, so they just spend the way they used to spend.
And how do you think young people can be taught to spend their money more sensibly?
Well, I think there's some sort of giving advice coming from their parents, that they have to value their money that has been given to them, that they should spend it wisely, and they should like think about, like before buying anything, they have to, like, if it's really necessary, or it's their necessity, that they can use it right away, or they just leave it right, and thinking about like buying it for the next time.
Why do some people buy things they don't need?
Well, as for myself, sometimes I'm really like buying things that I don't really need, but I like I'm not the one that who hoards like stuff like some clothes or groceries, but there's a sense of like um buying a stuff that you need, that you have to, that you can make use in the future, like if there's an emergency, that you could just use it in times of needs. So I think that's make a sense also, but some people would think that it's not that necessarily doing it.
Do you think it's important to save money?
Well, nowadays it's really important to save, that we have to save money, because we don't know what the future holds. We don't know what will happen for tomorrow. So, as for me, I've been giving advice to some of my colleagues that um, having money is not like a one day millionaire. You have to save for rainy days. So it's really important of saving money for the future rather than spending it right away.
Why do you think that some items are so expensive to purchase?
Well, that depends on the quality of the item. If it's like it has a brand, it has a name, a trademark that's like, that it's really costly, like the Coach or some luxurious items. It's really expensive, in the sense that you're not only buying the name of the product, but you're also buying the quality. And versus buying an item that is not that much of quality but it's not expensive, I don't think the quality of that product would be like more comparable to the previous one.
Okay, thank you very much there, Cinch. Some very nice responses to the questions, and some nice use of language as well, particularly as we developed through them. Some great vocabulary items are coming up. Hoard. You were saying, you don't hoard items. You self-corrected on luxurious, so that was a nice vocabulary word to use as well, and you did the right thing. If you're like, oh no, I didn't say that right, so you corrected yourself. So that was good technique. You were using some nice expressions, so not only but also, and that was when you were talking about the quality and the brand name. In times of need was a nice expression that you used as well, and save for a rainy day, another nice expression which you use. So some really good expressions you were using in your speaking. Similarly to Regina, though, I would just say you were at times repeating the question a bit. So it's a technique which is useful in terms of, again, just avoiding that repetition, because it's not something you would do in a conversation, you see. So what we tend to do is we tend to paraphrase, use synonyms, use our own words. And there were times when you were responding to the question where you were, again, repeating words from the question at the beginning of your response. So similarly to what I said to Regina, try to paraphrase a little bit more, try to use a bit of referencing. So rather than saying, yes, I do think that, or sorry, for the first one, I don't think young people spend their money wisely. You might say, well, no, I think actually that they spend their money at times unwisely. So you can even just use an antonym to use your own language, or, I don't believe they spend their money sensibly, or even just, no, I don't think so, because. So you can just say so as a reference word and then move on. So Yeah, just a little bit in terms of paraphrasing there, I think would help demonstrate more vocabulary variety. You did well with vocabulary, but that would have been a way to demonstrate even more variety by using your own paraphrasing. But yeah, aside from that, I thought you did really well. Just a few slips in grammar, not many, but at one point you said, you talked about items, you said not that much of quality. So I would paraphrase that just to make it a bit more grammatically accurate. I would say, not of high quality or not of very high quality would be a more natural expression. But yeah, aside from that, we did well. There were just a few slips with verb form as well. So you're using some ing forms where they didn't need to be there. So you can talk about, you said people are also having, I noted down something like that, people are also having rather than people also have. So it's just a few times where you were using these like continuous forms where they wouldn't be quite natural. It didn't happen too often, but I just noticed it once or twice. But yeah, generally speaking, you did really well. Definitely nice use of vocabulary. Pronunciation was very clear. And yeah, you gave good responses to the questions. So well done, Cinch.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Alex, man.
Take care, and I'll see you again soon.
Yep, thanks.
Cheers. Okay, well, thank you all to those who have been watching the class today. Once again, apologies for the late start. There's just so much information we want to give you here at Swoosh and Connetics that it's difficult to fit it all in. But for those who have been watching us live on YouTube or Facebook and would like to participate in these classes or get extra support in terms of achieving their IELTS goals, join us at the scholarship program. We can help you to achieve those goals. If you're a nurse who wishes to work and live in the United States, then we are here to help you and guide you every step of the way. So just click on the link, which you can see scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now, and click on the option Staff Nurse to find out more information. You could potentially get all of this support for free. Thanks, guys, and I will see you again next week at our usual time, I hope. Until then, take care.